News 46 is brought to you by Assemblyman James Oscarson, the voice for veterans, seniors, and education. Now and in the future, the conservative choice, fighting for your rights. Paid by the Committee to Re-elect James Oscarson.
Welcome back. An ex-felon allegedly shot at police recently in Beatty. John Worth has been arrested for possession of a firearm by a prohibited person ×6 at the location of US 95 and mile marker 63 in Beatty, Nevada. According to the declaration of arrest, deputies were dispatched on June 7th for a report of a stolen generator on the property that Worth resided on. Deputies say that both Worth and an individual named Sherry were both living on the property. While making contact with Worth, police say that they heard one gunshot and called out on Nye County Sheriff's Office dispatch radio that shots had been fired. The deputy on scene said that they saw a muzzle flash from the firearm. At that time, they gave verbal commands for the individual to drop the gun. Both of the individuals were detained for officer safety. During a search of the area with a certified canine, deputies were able to locate explosives, including gunpowder and a homemade pistol in the area that Worth was located. After searching the residence, deputies say that they found several items of contraband, including homemade rifles, a revolver, and ammunition. They say that Worth is a convicted felon out of the state of Florida and is not allowed to possess firearms. Worth was taken into custody and transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. All right, let's go to Angela Miles with your Business First Brief.
Topping our news, the mega merger between AT&T and Time Warner is a go. A federal judge is giving AT&T the all-clear sign to pay $85 billion for Time Warner, no strings attached. Last year, the Justice Department sued to block the deal based on concerns that it could mean higher prices for consumers. AT&T picks up HBO, CNN, and Warner Brothers in that deal. Some employees at Tesla are losing their jobs starting this week. 9% of Tesla's salaried workers are being laid off as the electric car company ramps up production of its Model 3. The stock is trekking higher. Tesla CEO Elon Musk tells reporters the layoffs are difficult but necessary. Virtual reality games are expected to become big winners for Dave & Buster's. That stock jumped on a first quarter earnings beat. Among the games at the entertainment restaurant chain launching Jurassic World VR Expedition.
And the county commissioners voted to reject the requirements for special use permits in other areas of our county.
The BOCC report is sponsored by Jim Marsh Automotive of Las Vegas, Kia, Chrysler, Jeep, and Body Shop.
The Board of County Commissioners had an item on their agenda that was recommended for adoption by Planning and Zoning. The item has already been adopted here in the town of Pahrump, and officials were proposing the bill to be instituted throughout the rest of the county. The general intent of this bill is to require approval of uses of land that typically have the potential to cause negative impacts on adjacent or surrounding people or properties, such as heavy manufacturing facilities, explosive storage, automobile junkyards, or similar uses. Currently, throughout Nye County, these types of uses do not require notification of adjacent property owners and do not require any approval by Nye County prior to starting these types of uses outside of the Pahrump Regional Planning District. Adopting the bill will require notification of surrounding property owners, the opportunity for public input, submittal of plans by the applicant, and approval by the board prior to commencing these types of land use activities. The special use permit was rejected by the Board of County Commissioners.
Possible action, public hearing, discussion, deliberation to adopt, amend, and adopt or reject Nye County Bill 2018-03, bill proposing to amend Nye County Code Title 17, Comprehensive Land Use and Planning, by adding 17.12 entitled Special Use Permits and set an effective date.
It makes me think that even though you're saying this one allows this, in a devious way, you're trying to not allow it. So reject, excellent. Thank you very much.
My wife and I have lived in Tonopah for 27 years now. Tonopah is 118 years old, and we've gotten along without Los Angeles-type regulations. In fact, I moved out of that area 27 years ago to get away from those regulations. This would be an economic disaster for Tonopah and probably for the other small towns here, because it would eliminate a great deal of flexibility, add a lot of costs, and add a huge amount of uncertainty that would really interfere with starting new businesses. I realize there's very little time. I've only got 3 minutes. First off, projects of regional significance is defined as something that would create 100 vehicle trips per day, 20 or more employees. Essentially, every fast food joint on Highway 95 is going to require a special use permit. A special use is one that has a potential to have adverse effect on adjacent local properties. Anything can be conceivably defined as that, oh, they're blocking my view, that's an adverse effect. You're going to leave that up to the planning director? Why not appoint him as dictator?
We have to look at this also from a financial point of view, because once we start enforcing, or we have all these laws put in place, we have to start enforcing them. And therefore, there's going to be a whole lot more money spent that right now the county does not have. So my suggestion would be that all the towns that have legitimate town boards, and I know some are only advisory boards, some are town boards, they can write their own resolutions for their own problems. They don't need to fall under the county for this specific needs. This applies to Pahrump, basically. We have the Pahrump Regional Planning Department or District, and we're just letting that flow over into areas where it's not necessary.
And all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. 3, 1 missing. Lorinda walked out for a second, so. Oh, 4-0. Here she's back.
And Home Matters on the other side of this break.